individuals that you're using them with. So we have also, again, if you're familiar with Widgit, we have recently improved the menu bar. So it's much easier to find resources. In the past, they were called extras because you used to pay for them. Now they're part of the subscription and they're under resources on the main menu bar. So if we go there, just show you some of the ones that we've got, and then I'm going to talk through 3 specifically, one extra one if I've got time. The early years pack, that's our latest edition, and that was designed to support preschool and foundation stage. So it's based on the EYFS, the 7 areas of the early years framework, statutory framework, and we'll go in a moment and I'll show you a little bit more on that. There's also our classroom pack. So this is designed for mainstream schools, special schools, to basically create a communication friendly environment. And again, we'll have a look at it in a little bit more detail. There is an autism support pack, one for school and one for home use at the lower levels of the subscriptions. And again, we're going to delve into that in a little bit. So a couple of the other ones that are useful to know about: the Widgit Health symbols, curriculum vocabulary, support for spelling, and this is the other one that we'll look at if we have time, the speech articulation pack. Really good for phonics work as well as articulation because it looks at vowels in the initial, medial and final position. In fact, not just vowels, but all phonemes. To install them, it's very easy. You just click on Install Resource Pack, and then depending on where you want to put it, we recommend at least shared folders because then everybody's got access to it. But it could just go into My Documents if you think it's something that you just want to use. So you click wherever you want it to go, shared folders, My Documents, and install, and that will then install that onto that home page that we had a look at the minute ago. I'm not going to do it just because of the time it takes, but that's the process. So if I go back to that home page, so either through Widgit Online or through Documents, that takes me back to what we call the home page, and you can see here that I have already installed the 4 that we were talking about. So let's open up the Autism Support Pack and have a little look at that, and then I'll show you how you can edit some of the resources that are in there. So the Autism Pack is arranged in the 4 areas of an education healthcare plan, and within each of those areas you've got different activities. So your cognition and learning, you can see there that you've got some motor skills, some phonics, some colourful semantics and other activities. Here are some of those different activities, those different games. So if we had a look perhaps at the dice, you can see there some different activities that you can use with our dice that are already there and made ready to go. But as I say, everything again is editable. You have your communication and interaction, which has lots of different communication support, so lots of communication boards. So again, we have a look here just to give you an idea. So around all the different areas that you may want to use for communication. The colour schemes we've used here are colourful semantics. We know that some schools will use the Fitzgerald colour scheme, and some of our newer packs that are coming in the future will include both colourful semantics and Fitzgerald colour schemes, but these existing ones are just using the colourful semantics schemes. So let's say communication, interaction, sensory and physical needs, and then the social and emotional. Stories to help. So we have decided not to use social stories because of its trademark, but effectively our stories to help are social stories that can be used and adapted. So I was just going to go into some regulation examples and show you how easy it is to adapt some of these resources. So if we have a look at the regulation bubble, So again, with the ready-made resources, it does show all of the different templates that are available. So everything you see, obviously you can remake, you can make yourself, you can start from scratch, you can adapt, but it gives you ideas as to how you can use the different templates that are included within Widgit Online. So here we go. We've got some regulation strategies and they are for Rebecca. Now, let's say that we wanted to have a photograph of Rebecca, not just the symbol that's there. So I can go to my image library on the right-hand side. Now, this is connected to any images or photographs that I've already uploaded. Because it's cloud-based, it's not getting it from your computer, because obviously I can log on an iPad, this computer, a computer in school, computer at home, wherever. So I have to upload my images so they live in my image library in the cloud, which is perfectly GDPR approved, etc. To do that, I just go to upload image, choose file. That takes me into my network, my computer, or into my iPad, and then I can find the image that I want to upload. Just click on it, open and upload image, and it will automatically appear in that image library. But we want a photograph of Rebecca, so we can just simply click on the one that's in my image library and it will replace that symbol. If I want to maybe change the colour of a symbol, so here we go, these are the regulation strategies for Sophie, and Sophie has a body sock, but her body sock is pink, for example. I can change the colour of that symbol by going to the formatting ribbon and the colour palette, clicking on the blue and replacing it with pink. And OK, so it's about that personalisation. So as I say, ready-made resources, but they can be personalised. Obviously, you can always create your own. Now, in this particular pack, this is the blank template. You could pick this up from templates, which I'll show you in a moment. But just to show you how easy this is to do, so this is for me, and I like to roll on the gym ball. So I just type that in, the symbol appears automatically. I like to use Do Disco. Again, symbol will appear for that one. So I don't have to go looking for it. I'm just typing in. I also look to bounce on the ball. So we have a whole range of sensory resources. So we've got the resistance bands. You saw it earlier on, there's the trumpet. So all of those different things that I can choose, and I can just type in whenever I want them. We might want the iPad, can't spell iPad, and we might need to say that we want to turn the iPad or the phone off at some point, so we can actually do that as well. This is plain at the moment. If I want to colour it, then I can choose my background colour on the frame, and I can put on whatever colours I want to there to just again make it personal. I can change the frame border to, let's have a purple one there. So that's just a little bit about the autism pack. If I want to save this resource, then I can save as, and I can put it in my documents, shared files or transfer files, we spoke about earlier on. I'm just going to pop it in my documents. I don't want to put it back in the actual pack because I've adapted this, so I'm just going to put it back in my documents and call it Bubble. And OK. Tells me it's saved, going back home, and here it is. Now, if I wanted to go back in and edit that, I would click on the title. I can also create a PDF version, But I also have this thing called View, and this sometimes is missed by users of Widgit Online, so I want to explain it to you. What you get is basically a PDF online, but more importantly, in the view at the bottom, there is a direct link. Now, this is the link to where this resource is stored in the cloud, and this is unique to this resource. So if I copy and paste this, I can copy and paste it into an email, onto a website, a homework page, a homework Moodle or whatever, and then the person that receives that link just clicks on it. They don't sign in, they don't register, they don't pay. They just click on the link and they will see this view on a tablet, a phone, a computer. So it's a really good way of getting symbolised resources to parents and carers or to colleagues just by using that view and creating that direct link. And in addition to being able to see it, you can also hear it read aloud. So if I click on here,
spin,
you can hear it read aloud. Turn that up a bit.
ear defenders.
You have a choice of voices and a choice of speed. Not really a choice, but slower or standard. But standard I tend to find is a bit too fast, so I always go with slower. But that again is really useful.
Wobble cushion.
For supporting a young person at home through, as I say, maybe a tablet or a phone, and they can hear, be it timetable, regulation strategies, zones of regulation resources, or social stories to help, for example. Again, to go back home, it's my Widgit Online logo or documents. And then I just want to take a quick look at a couple of others and then show you some of the other features of Widgit Online. So if we have a look in the classroom pack, as I mentioned, again, this is everything that a teacher would need to set up a communication friendly environment. So you've got routines and values, you've got literacy activities, some nice colourful semantics things here. So, you know, these are starters, but people can find their own pictures. We do have within the system, within Widgit Online, access to web images. Now, web images are provided by Pixabay. Pixabay is like Google, but it's copyright free and vetted. So I know if I search for something that it's going to be approved and appropriate. So if I wanted, for example, a castle, don't know if there's any who's in this one, but that's just an example. And then I can just click and replace that photograph. So again, it's very easy to adapt this to the topic, the categories, the situation that is needed for that particular individual. I'm not going to save that one because I don't want to overwrite it. So we close without saving. There are maths activities in the 4 areas of the curriculum there. You've got some phonics and you've got some really nice well-being. So using the different scales and emotion templates. So this is supporting calming down. This is a volume scale. So again, just well worth being aware of all the different things that you've got. And I was going to have a look at particularly one of the routines in classroom environment. So we'll have a look at that, have a look at washing your hands to again show you, edit the draft, what we can do within the system to amend things. So if, for example, I wanted to change the skin tone in this resource, using the tools ribbon and select all, that's selecting everything on my screen, and the formatting ribbon, skin tone icon, I can change the skin tone to make it something more appropriate for the setting, for the school, for the individual. If I want to, I could also change the background colours. So let's say school branding and school uniform is green, not blue. I can either use select all again on the tools ribbon, or I can just left click and drag across and change that background colour and that border colour to make it something more visually appropriate. If you've got an individual that can't tolerate a certain colour, for example, that's another way that you could do that. So again, we'll just go home without saving that one. And then let's just close all of that lot up. And then just again, another quick look at the early years pack. So as I mentioned, it's the 7 areas of the early years EYFS curriculum. And again, a whole lot of resources in here. So we've got our maths again. In the literacy section, we've got some rhymes and stories, some handwriting activities, early phonics activities. Your environment obviously is around your learning space, again, the routines, British values. We're going to have a dive into understanding the world. And I want to have a look at the natural world here. So these are labels that might be used in a small play environment. You can see those, and I wanted to have a look again at how we might change some things. So here's the bug hotel. So maybe I would rather have a photograph here because this hotel symbol doesn't really show what I want. So again, using web images, I could search for a bug hotel. And then very quickly replace the symbol. Let's have that one. What's a nice one? With that photograph, just by dropping that one in. Okay, so as I said, those are that's that activity. Let's close down after that one, and again, just we'll go into one that's using a document. So everything I've shown you so far has used something from the template folders. Now, in our template folders, you have a large range of different categories: basic flashcards and vocabulary, timetables and planners. So we saw this one for the sequence of hand washing, for example. There are literacy activities, so handwriting, spelling, writing frames, some more colourful semantics resources there. There are, these are the emotion scales, so the Carrie Dunbar-on incredible 5-point scale emotion system. Same on a temperature base, and then when we're 6, we don't have zones of regulation. Zones of regulation is a trademarked, copyrighted system. We did approach and ask if we could put templates in Widgit Online, but we were our request was turned down. But you'll see how easy it is to change the background of cells. So it is very easy to create your own emotional regulation, zones of regulation resources from basically a flashcard, where you can go in and change the background colour to the yellow, to the blue, to the green and the red. And obviously you can, decide on the size that you want, the number of different cells, and then you can populate that with all of your emotions. So those are the templates, but there is obviously the document side as well. So just having a quick look at a literacy activity within the Widgit Online early years pack. And we're going to look at rhymes and stories and Incy Wincy Spider. So the document is a symbolised word processor, effectively. So I type and my symbols appear automatically. And again, we can look at a blank one in a moment. I've just noticed that because I was having a little play with this earlier on, you can see that I have changed the symbol for the spider here. But again, if I do this one, it's very easy. So I have a spider in my image library. This time, rather than just clicking and it going in automatically, I do have to left click and drag and place it over the symbol or in the space where I want it to go. But if this is the toy spider that's used in the setting, then it's very easy to make that change. So again, I don't want to save that, so we're just going to go away from that. But if I open up a blank one of those and show you how it works. So these documents are used for stories to help, for social stories, for transition books, for any form of differentiated text. And I just type and the symbols will appear automatically. So again, I don't have to go looking for anything. Everything is there. Options for symbols are on the right hand side. So if I wanted a different one for sunny, then I could choose a different one simply by left clicking. If I don't want a symbol at all, I can simply choose the no symbol symbol and that will remove that symbol. I have different fonts. So on my formatting ribbon, I can look at the different fonts that are available, a range of Sassoon fonts. So you have a cursive, fully cursive, you have a precursive, and you have a handwriting font for handwriting practice. There's also an open dyslexic font where the letters are weighted at the bottom. Not keen on the A's personally, but there is an option there for you to use it. I can add photographs, as you saw earlier on. I could just put in a photograph over a word, but I can also put in what we call a paragraph graphic or a big photograph and just choose where I drop that into this page. So if I was doing a story to help, then obviously I could have the photograph of the park, the person, the place you're going to visit or whatever. If I was doing a recipe, could have the final thing there. A recount could have the information that we needed. So lots of options for putting in a photograph and the reasons why you might want to do that. One other thing that you can do is hear this read aloud. So you don't have to go into the view. You can hear it read aloud within the editor.
Today is Thursday. It is sunny.
So it can act as feedback for reluctant writers as well as a resource for so those that are supporting them. Again, I could save that. I could see it in the view. But I'm aware of time, so I just want to show you our dual language templates. So these will allow you to create a resource in English and a second language. Works with Google, so it translates into the languages that we have here from Google. Anything with a speaker icon means that you can hear it read aloud in English and a second language. So if we go to Norwegian, for example, we're just going to have some plants. So we'll have the stem, we'll have the roots, we'll have the petals and pollination. Okay, whoops, spell properly. There we go. Again, I can select all or I can drag, left click and drag, and then I can translate. So that's automatically translated this into this case. This is Norwegian. If I wanted a different language, then I can change that language simply by clicking, and we'll have some Arabic now and retranslating. So it's very quick and easy to create resources that can be used for lots of different languages without having to re-input anything. Right, 1 minute, sorry. Is there any questions from anybody?
So there's no questions in the chat, but if anybody does have anything they'd like to ask. Okay, so Direct's all good.
Okay, So obviously, if you do have any questions after this webinar or after you've viewed the video, then please do come through to us at info@widgit.com. Widgit with an IT, you can remember it because we are a computer company. So it's Widgit with an IT. And they will, the team will gladly answer any questions that you have.
Oh, we've got one question here. Naringa's just said she doesn't have. Sorry, can you just unmute yourself and just say that again? No, let's just look in the chat. She said, I don't have any resources on my account.
Okay, so it could be that you you need to talk to your administrator. So depending on the level of access that you have in your account, and there are 3 different levels. There is an administrator, that's the top level. There's a manager, which actually we suggest all adults are managers. And then there's a users, which is normally used by students or pupils. But it's only administrators and managers that have the right to install the resources. So first thing to do is to get your administrator to make you a manager. That's very easy. They just click make manager. So you'll be down here and they can make you a manager. And then you will see them on that page, or alternatively get your administrator to load them into the shared folders for everybody to be able to access.
Does that help? Oh, just typing.
Yeah, if you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you, because I only got the account details and I only tried a couple of days ago. So without your training, I wouldn't have known that we should access. And I was looking somewhere on the widget, like the general homepage and everything, because I've seen it before. I think it was more accessible. Maybe during COVID, everyone could access lots of things. And when I looked at this account, I thought it's really limited. So I have to go back now. And I thought, where are all the resources? It's just something for me to create. So yeah, I think they should check the accessibility level. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. If anybody would like more training, again, from the website, so www.widgit.com, training and events at the end, we do for Widgit Online, hour-long, but you don't have to stay that long, training webinars. So you just book on, they're free, book on via Zoom, or there is a pre-recorded version that you can watch at any time. So if that's helpful for people as well, if they don't have that experience of it, then please feel free to use those.
So Dorette's also just asked, is today's demo on a Pro or Plus account?
So this is on my account, is a standard account, which allows up to 20 users. The Pro and the Plus, I never remember which way round it is, but one has 50 users and one has 150 users. But the resources are available for standard Pro and Plus. Where it is a little different is at the home and the basic. They don't get access to all of the school-based resources or the dual language automatically.
So basically the resources are similar, it's just the number of people.
The number of, that's correct, yes.
Okay. Lovely. So that's it in the chat, unless anybody else has any other. No, doesn't look like it. I think we could probably finish there, but actually you've given us some really useful contacts anyway. So if anyone does have any extra questions they want, or somebody who watches this later has any extra questions, they can then get in touch with you again. What was that? Info at
widgit with an IT.com. Info at widgit.com.
Brilliant.
If I put it in the chat, then it will be there recorded as well, won't it?
Lovely. Well, that was really, really useful and really exciting. I think there's so many possibilities that can be useful. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. It was great.
You're very welcome. As I say, I wasn't sure whether people had got experience or not, but I think it's good to have a look at those resources as a starting point. But if you want to know how you can manipulate Widgit Online and symbols a bit more, then obviously the Getting Started webinars are the place to go.
Yeah, fabulous. Oh, thank you so much for that. That was really helpful. So I'll sign off now, but thank you again. And hopefully anybody that needs you will be able to get in contact.
Of course. Thank you. Have a good evening, everybody. Okay.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.